it's this weird feeling of peace. It's not like I don't care. It's just, I've done everything, so let's play.
You have to go through those. You have to go through that pain, right? You have to fall. You have to stumble.
Yeah.
You have to have your heart broken. You have to have the doors closed in your face for you to realize, oh, well, then I got to pick up and keep moving, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You keep going and you believe and things happen. You don't know. I mean, all I know is you're right. I gotta say, you know, from the setup to the things, it's like, you sit there and like, so many people will sit there and try and have, oh, I can't do it. Yeah, what is it called? Paralysis by analysis.
Oh, analysis
I gotta
paralysis.
do this
Yes.
or whatever, you know, and I gotta have this. But I mean, heck, you just start, you go, you figure it out as I go, and that's what we've done. And we're here.
And that's why I'm like pumped. I was like, who can I have as a first guest that will just roll, and I like don't need to have any questions, and I know I'm gonna come out with nuggets. So basically, I was like, I want to make content for the people that provide value, but just like less strategic, like just real talk, because those are like my favorite moments, and I have had plenty of moments with you that are extra real that I might not share on here.
I think it like we were just saying earlier, it's the human experience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching all this unfold for you, but I couldn't be happier than to be a part of something that helps you grow.
Thank
and you know, for whatever it is, you know, like this is done in such an amount of energy to do what? To show some people some love, and that's such a great thing for you. I'm like, I love your logo.
Thanks, my banner. Repurpose
with
this.
Maricris, yes. Notice the MWN and the heartbeat.
Right.
If you don't have this happening, you don't have vitals, right?
Why do you just get it all?
And the water,
you know,
straight from the Himalayan mountains,
or the Brita, you know,
whatever. It's delicious.
We're on a budget. You know, next time you come on the show, I was like, I need some labels, but I think this works.
Hey, next time on the show, we're gonna have our own alcohol sponsor. It's like our tequila brand.
Just name it.
Yeah.
It's the goal, but like you said, it's just about starting. I texted Brian last week. It was an idea I had, and I said, I have to just get started, so I'm gonna hit up people. They're free. To my luck, Brian was free very quickly, so this was put together. But I want to get to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the easiest way to unravel you and knowledge and have this conversation just go naturally is, can you even tell me, like, what is your job title? Because obviously I met you in the industry. I think it's easy to say you're a trainer, but I feel like you wear a lot of different hats, and probably based on your modality. So like, if someone had asked, like, what does Brian do? Like, what do you do?
So when I write down my bio for, let's say, a speaking event or something, in this world, right, in the fitness world, I am an athletic performance coach.
Okay.
Someone had mentioned that. I think it was Vern Gambetta, who just said, hey, you know, for anybody out there, you're wondering, am I a coach? Am I a trainer? You know, or I'm an athletic trainer. It's like, for me, my license when I went through UCLA was athletic training. So it was performing sports medicine, and we were told back then that you're not a trainer, you're an athletic trainer, certified. You have to be such a stickler about that. I'm like, I'm not a trainer. And so there's this weird attachment. I'm like, I'm a trainer. I'm like, wait a second, I do train people, but I coach them as well. But then when Vern Gambetta said, listen guys, we're all athletic performance coaches. No matter what population you work with, you're helping someone with their athletic performance, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, athleticism in and of itself is how we move throughout this world, you know?
Yeah.
And so if you are helping someone to perform better in how they move this world, you're an athletic performance coach. So I like to say, oh, I am. Because whether my modality is more sports medicine or more in the coaching and physical side and strength side, I'm still doing athletic performance coaching. So I'm an athletic performance coach is what I say. But I'm mostly a dad right now.
I love that's a big title. But I think I love what you're saying there, because I think even for myself, right, it's constantly like, as you start to get more opportunities, it's like this bio, I'm like, I don't know, like, well, today I'm this, and I just like, I'm like, umbrella, I say fitness entrepreneur, because I'm like, I do a lot of different things. I am a coach. But to your point, I think once you have those experiences and you meet different people and you assist in different ways, it's like you can't put yourself under one name. And And if you do, which is fine, I think it's important to remember that you can change what your title is. Like, I think sometimes we get so stuck in this identity of like, this is who I am. If I change, am I lying? And it's like, you're not.
I will say right now, I have no idea who I really am yet. I have no idea what I really want to do yet.
Yeah.
But as I move into each day, I feel like, oh, okay, I'm following my happiness, so doing okay.
Yeah,
so,
I love that. So, okay, so as we kind of talked about, so I'm getting married this year, right? I'm going to step into the, thank you. So I'm going to step into the wife role, right?
Yes.
And you're talking about you as a family person. So how does it work with that lifestyle? For me, I'm thinking, gosh, I'm already so busy. How am I supposed to make this all happen later? Like, I know everyone does it. I think you can read books about it, but like, you don't know until you're in there.
Yeah.
So
I as is true with any venture in life.
Yeah.
Right. It's not about if we live and think about our past or continue to think about our future, then it's really hard to feel settled ever, right? You know, you're going to put yourself under a lot of pressure, but it's being in this present moment, right?
Yeah.
And I think for anybody, I think all of my coaching friends have watched Ted Lasso now, right?
I've actually seen a couple episodes.
Okay, yeah. So, there's this idea like, do you have faith? Do you believe in your journey, right? For whatever journey you go through, it's really just about learning more of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So if family life for me has just been like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Like, my daughter, and she was, already teenager, right? And then my son comes around. It's like, oh my gosh, that's a little late in the game, But you navigate the waters, and I think no matter what, you just be present. I hope. I would love to say it in a different, like, I was prepared. Are you crazy? Like, day in and day out is brand new for me as a dad, and it's just being present is the big thing. So I'm just excited for whatever family ends up happening for you and Nathan, and I'm I know it's going to be amazing because I have trust in my amazing friends. I've trusted I was going to be a part of something amazing with this right now because I trust you. So I think it's in that space of like, hey, you're going to be just fine. You don't even have to plan it. You don't have to talk to anybody else. You just show up. I guarantee you're going to show up just like you do with everything else you do.
My apartment here.
Yeah.
No, but I actually love what you're saying. And, Nate and I were, if you don't know who Nate is, he's my fiance. But we were just having this conversation about, like, having faith in yourself. So I feel like I used to be this person of, like, oh, is it going to work out? Like, da-da-da-da. And then I think over time you just learn if you put in the work, at least I feel, if it's meant for you, will not pass you. That's like one quote thing I got from my pageant competition. It's, you can only stress so much. And I feel comfortable that if I've done everything I can and it doesn't line up, that's fine. Because months later, I've used to cry about jobs, and then months later I get something else, I'm like, oh, that's why. Yeah. And then it becomes this like faith thing. I go through this process where I think and think and think, and if there's a point where I'm just stumped, and for me, because I believe in God, I'm just like, let go, let God. What am I supposed to do? That's it. I have played the game. I can't assist, and it's this weird feeling of peace. It's not like I don't care. It's just I've done everything, so let's play.
You have to go through those. You have to go through that pain, right? You have to fall. You have to stumble. Yeah. You have to have your heart broken. You have to have doors closed in your face for you to realize, oh, well, then I got to pick up and keep moving, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. You keep going, and you believe, and things happen. You don't know. I mean, all I know is you're right. You ain't in the driver's seat. I know I'm not in the driver's seat, although I try to be all the time. Yeah. I quickly remember, like, oh man, this happens, this event happens in my life. Before you know, it's like, oh my God, the holidays are over. Yeah. And all that happened, and like, oh my God, we're here. But yeah.
But it's like that base you're talking about. I think when you look at your character, and sometimes you have to give yourself grace, I feel like I know I'm always going to do everything I can. So if it didn't work out, then what are you like cheering about? Like, you're always going to pick up and keep doing you and figuring it out. So at the end of the day, I feel like that's kind of the comfort you should have, is like trusting that you will figure it out. And I think thinking about, sometimes we think plan A, plan B, and And it's good to have those, but it's like, if you already know you're going to look at those plans, I feel like just focus on what it is you want until you have to pivot, kind of, versus like wasting that time racking your brain over what can go wrong. It's like you learn about yourself and your abilities along the way, and you're resourceful when you want to be. Like, let's be honest.
The great Yoda said, "There is no try, there is only do." Right?
See?
Yeah.
Am I?
Well, I don't even know.
That's
That's quoted.
But
this quote is really.
the,
well, what is it? Oh no, I'm gonna mess it up.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and it's the messy action like this today. And I hope, at the end of the day, if it the real value is not how pretty the banner is. It's like the conversation that we're sharing and what you're talking about, the human experience and the connection. That's like what matters. So
you first asked me, like, what is my title? And it's like, I came to this experience being a little guy. Like, I'm 5'4" when I'm wearing, heels.
Yeah.
And and so I kid you not, I'm always trying to get noticed. To have an opportunity to try and be on one of the sports teams, if it is to like take ankles and make Gatorade and help out with whatever injuries are happening, that's what I wanted to do, to help be a part of that team. I wanted to just be a part of what I really admired, were these volleyball teams, these great sports teams, and I'm like, I can do that. I can be a part of that, and I can help. And then along the journey, it was really discovering more of myself that continues to want to show up in this human experience as a helper, as someone who has been told by his, parents or people around or whoever it is that, starts to break you down as you age, right? You're not good enough. You're not good enough. And then all of a sudden, like, no, I am good enough.
Yeah.
And you keep saying, doing more. I mean, that's the journey. So for me, the more I realize what anchors me into my drive, like I did this Tony Robbins online, what are your drivers?
Yeah.
And it is very true, it's very true to how my upbringing is. My drivers are connection. Like, I'm really wanting to like connect with friends, connect to people, and then recognition. Like, there's a part of me that's driven by positive recognition for doing things that are like helpful to people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just one of those, hey, that's how my little kid, that's his source of love.
Yeah.
And so when I get recognized in, whether it's at the gym or when it's like for helping, the more and more I want to give, the more and more I want to do, right?
Yeah.
If this is going to help your clients get off, get out in front of Netflix and actually go to the park and spend more time with their family, then I want to be able to show up and do this. But anyway, thank you for allowing me to do like you.
Yes, no, and I have this mindset of, I know what I'm capable of, but sometimes when I'm around people like you, because I like respect what you do, I always feel, I don't want to say under, right? Because it's not that, but it's more of like a respect of learning from those around me that are just like living it day in and day out. And I think,
thank you. I reflect it all back to you because I admire it all.
You.
Yep, everything that you're doing for your people and the energy you give. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just in this industry too, when you see social media and everything, it's like I've played the game in terms of what you need to do to have a successful business, and at some point I feel like just strategied out, right? Because I think about the clients I've had for years, and for those who have built different businesses or have thought about it, I don't know, have you heard of like the ideal client avatar?
Of course.
Yeah, so ideal client avatar, it's like, who do you want to work with? Who do you attract? And for me, I feel like for the longest I was like kind of making up who it was. It's like, oh, this is an idea, but I'm not sure. And then it finally like clicked after multiple exercises of just look at who I'm working with, but not their goals, but like, who are they? And like, my clients are people who don't want to know the names of their exercises. They've been working with me for years, but they don't care to. And I think it was the most humanizing thing. I was getting ready to create a challenge, and I was like, instead of writing this out, like, why don't I just ask my client, why do you work out with me, right? Because I'm over here programming, still trying to make it fun, but I I feel like sometimes you lose track, right?
Get off the same page.
Yeah.
Happens with my wife, my children,
Right,
like all of a sudden we're not on the same page anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, and I asked him like, well, why do you work out with me? And it wasn't like, I like this exercise or you don't do this. She's like, you're the one person who sees me all day. I was like, oh my gosh, like as a mom, it's just someone's there to take care of me. And it just humanized it all of recognizing like the work that we do and the connection there is to it. Like at the end of the day, if your only strategy is to connect and listen, I think that's a pretty good start to kind of push you forward. And
I consider myself, well, that realization right there, so congratulations for having that epiphany. Okay? Because it's amazing to know and realize that you're nothing but and hey, however woke this sounds, I apologize, right? But if you don't realize that in this world you are light, and many people need to have and experience light and energy and what it is you show up for. When you show up, all of a sudden a part of them wakes up and shows up. Yeah. And that's huge, right? That's like it's such a to be aware, right? I think one of the biggest challenges as coaches, athletic performance coaches, that we can parents, whoever, what we're really providing for our clients, our children, our families, awareness. Yeah, because through awareness of whatever it is, I'm aware that I'm more alive after I train with you. That's all I know. I don't know the exercise. I just know that after we're done, I feel better. I feel like I'm stronger. You make me laugh, and I just feel alive. Well, that being aware to that is the key. And then all of a sudden someone has awareness, right? And when you have awareness, you have a choice. I can either A, spend time with Maricris, or B, not. Well, my awareness says A, here. It's always constant choices. So I think, again, aware, we show up as light, energy. Yeah. We help people become aware. We help people create choices. And if they can help create better choices, well, then that's integrity, right? Yeah. I know that I can have this as my snack, this is my snack, I can do this with my time, this with my time. But if we are influential coaches, then we are also influencing those choices to help people, hopefully live a better life. And that's it. But again, all you did was show up. Yeah. And it's like, your job, all I have to do is just show up?
It's a funny thing, and it was like, that was like such a moment of like what you shared right there is the awareness. Yeah. And I think what's so interesting is, the type of clients that I work with, whether they're stay-at-home moms or corporate people, these are very needed, busy people. Yeah. And I've really learned to see like there's a sense of kind of sometimes disappointment when they feel like they're not meeting their goals because they're high level in what they do. And it's like, how can I figure me out? And that's where you step in, like as a reminder of like, I've got your back. You've got everyone else's, like, let me help you. And it's like this progression. And like you said, the awareness along the way of like, I could tell you everything to do to get it perfect, but why is this an experience that you're looking for and to make it different than something else? And that's why I think it's like so great what you said, because in terms of like move with Maricris, like I used to say exercise and but I like to say move now because I'm like, I like to travel. I'm like, I can be eating my donut or whatever and taking a walk. That's still moving, but like it's
movement is a sign of life, right? If you're not moving,
can I steal that?
If you're not moving, it's called look.
Yeah.
You ain't moving.
Yeah.
That's not good anymore, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So moving, be alive with her. I get it all. Yeah. Yeah, but the vital signs too. Yeah, we talked about that, right? Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
That was
being alive. Yeah.
No, but that's my dad's song.
Show up, girl.
But yeah, like you're saying, it's just the awareness and changing the perspective of what you're doing. Like I love when it's like you think these whatever like lunges or whatever suck, right? And then client goes on a trip, they're like, skiing was way better. I'm like, that's it. That's the connection. It's not to torture you. It's for those experiences. Do we draw it? Like, cool. Let's like run it back again. And it just makes it more fun, I think, when we remember what we're doing. And, I think we're just going so fast. in life right now. And
oh my God.
yeah, I just
Too much. My son is 5, and you know, I talk about training, and you talk about awareness, and you know, even with your clients that don't like the name, I don't want to know the names of exercises. I don't want. That's just more. That's complicating things.
Yeah.
You know, you like I just show me and I'll do it.
yeah.
But it's such a truth to life. Like most people, is too much. We already just need more to help us keep it simple, right? The KISS principle, like keep it simple and sweet. Yeah, or keep it simple, stupid, or whatever it is people say, right? But keep it simple. Like, listen, you know, we need to move. I want you to go out there and play. I want you to ski.
Yeah.
But then we got to do some training that helps you, so you're not. But the exercises don't need to be complicated. You know, regimens, habits. The less you can complicate, the more you can help people become more aware of those little challenges, right? Those little changes. But that's the hardest part of coaching.
Yeah.
Is becoming experienced enough where you feel like your energy and your presence is already enough.
Yeah, and
for you, some of the younger coaches, they feel like, oh, I'm going to start getting clients when I have 10,000 followers, and then when I have, you know, when I get all my equipment, once I get my sandbag certification, then I'm going to start training so and so, and then it's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, no, do it like Maricris did. Set up a table, get some waters, get a camera, and let's just do this thing. The more we get into it, the next time Brian comes on here, we're going to have the visual, green screen, background, we'll have all of it, but let's just get to doing and experiencing the work. But but like you said, right, it is so much. So keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Now that I've been doing this for over 20 years, keeping it simple is the challenge, is the hardest thing. It's taking out, because there's so much information in the world. All our clients are doing this.
Yeah.
All our clients are doing, you know, looking at other people exercising. All our clients are looking at, oh, look at this girl's butt. This looks amazing. Oh, should we be doing these? And all of that world just complicates things. Oh, should I be doing collagen with my coffee? Like, I can't even get you to stop eating chocolate cake, and you already want to talk about collagen. It's like, let's keep things simple, right?
Yeah.
But all attachments aside, no judgments or anything. But as coaches, if we could learn how to keep things simple, coaching becomes a hell of a lot easier. I don't know why I want to mention that, but let me just throw that out there.
No, but it's true. To your point, when I first started, I'm like, oh God, I need to change the exercises every week, and combos, like, they can't know I'm like repeating it, and it's just like, okay, but that's progressive overload. Like, just learning those different things and just getting stressed out about different things. But when you know, when I first started, I'm like, I have to have every cert. I have to be qualified to compete with like the Bryans of the world. And it's like, when I look back on it now, I started with my just certified personal trainer. And then I started working at the Disneyland in Burbank, which was my corporate clients. And then I was like, oh, then I learned a reality of like what it's like to be sedentary all day. And boom, and I'm like, ooh, corrective exercise. And then I shifted into, you know, working with more moms. And I'm like, oh, wait, wellness. And it creates this thing. And I'm in this place right now where I've learned that all these different experiences, like no experience is bad. No. It just makes you that very specific trainer for that one person that loves you. And like, I just picked up a client who's a truck driver, and I love that. And it's like, from moving like all over the place, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like so qualified for this. And it's showing that it's possible wherever you are. And I'm like, why did I like trip out for so long? And it's just being real. Like, not everybody can be in the gym, not everybody wants a certain thing, and that's okay.
It's hard to sit there and navigate the water in the present moment, right? To know that everything really is as it should be. Like, you know, you stay true to things that you're interested in. You stay true to wanting to help other people. Yeah. You know, but really all the other things about people, like, oh, is your exercise, like, I've seen some amazing programs written, Maricris, like, amazing. Like, you look at the season program for this football team, or you look at this program for like 12-week program to get this, you know, this actor on screen, you know, for the program's amazing. But then all of a sudden, carried out by coaches who are right, and there's no results, nothing. Yet I've seen some really crappy programs. When I say crappy, just very base.
Yeah.
Very, like, right? But like, oh, you know, nothing to, but great coaches who are there, present, and always like, you know, able to be there to hear up. And all of a sudden, those people, the changes are drastic.
Yeah.
It's like, what was it there? It was just being in that present moment, being able to know that you're the person, believe it. It's not about what's outside. It's just what do you have with you now that you have and carry, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, going off of that, which I think is so interesting because, you know, like I said, especially when I was starting out, I'm like, do I have enough tools? I'm like, does this program actually work? And how does it? But at the end of the day, like I simply say consistency is key, right? If you've done nothing, you're going to get some kind of result, right? In various ways to measure it. And I think the funny comparison is like the clients that I've had that have come in, they're like, I need to lose this many pounds, da-da-da. It's one way. And it gets stressful and it doesn't always happen. Then I have the clients I'm like, I just want a lifestyle change. So kind of do you and we'll take it by you. And they'll look at a picture 2 years later and they're like, oh, didn't know, massive change. And it's just like, because they kept it simple. They're just like, I'm just going to show up. We're going to do this consistently. And that's why I'm just like, I'm going to talk to you. I'm like, you're coming to me because you haven't figured it out, and that's
not at all. It's
okay.
Not figured out at all. But
like,
I think there is, the Good Life was the name of the book. God, I forget the author, but we'll have to come back to it and reference it later on. But the book that I'm audiobooking right now is essentially about the happiness factor. You know, it's the longest study ever done on happiness. And essentially, why do people train? Why do we want to go out there? Really, it's kind of, we're trying to deliver happiness. Other people want to do things that are making them happy. I'm going to be happier if I don't look like this. I'm going to be happier if I'm able to do this. You know, whatever it is, happiness is a key thing, right? It's just, and if we think about the truth, right, happiness is really just inside, right? It's not something we're supposed to fill in. It's like, if I can eat that, then I'll be happy. If I do this, then it'll be. It's like, no, are you a happy person, right? And you are, right? Essentially, that's why people want you around. It's like, pretty happy person most of the time. So just keep around. It's kind of like, you know, the mood gets better. But I think the book itself was this. They talk about in the very first chapter, all the years of research. I'm talking about over 100 years of research on what drives happiness. And it's all relationships. Yeah. It's all relationships. It's all the relationships that you have with, whether it's your neighbor, your client, your coach, your children, you know, even the relationships that you have with your enemies or whatever. It's like all these relationships are key because it's just about your relation to yourself, right? It's learning myself.
Yeah, so when you're talking about these relationships, you know, one of my clients, when she came in, you know, we have our normal routine that we go through, and this one day something just, you know, it felt off, and I asked her to just lay down, and I got my Hypervolt gun, and I just started massaging her, and she started crying. And it was just like a moment of like, right, it's like their favorite sessions aren't the ones where, you know, like you necessarily kick their butt, like they like those good workouts. But that moment, I think, of having that open space of making them feel seen so they know, you know, when you're talking about being a light, that they can come in on any day and they're going to leave feeling better than when they first came in.
So true.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, look, as a parent, as a coach, as a, you know, friend, I think if your relationships are solid, like when you're with those people, you're holding space for them, right? I think as a coach, that's what you show up for. You agreed to, hold space to make her stronger, right? But in that moment, making her stronger wasn't about making her do work with dumbbells. Making her stronger was about, hey, I need you to be present right now because this is not right. So talk to me, tell me, breathe. I'll just massage you, just breathe. Yeah. And that came out. And it's, I mean, of course, I mean, that's happened to me. Like all of a sudden someone, hey, are you okay? No, okay. But what a beautiful, like, piece of the puzzle, right? Because ultimately it is that, it's the truth. It's on the wall at UCLA, it says right there, people are going to forget what you said.
Yeah.
They're going to forget what you did, but they're just never going to forget how you made them feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she can still think back on that moment and remember that particular session over any other ones, right?
Yeah.
Because, oh, remember that session? Like, you were doing the hypervolt and, like, I completely broke down. And, like, yeah, you meant that session where we really became close.
Yeah.
And, like, and really, like, made our relationship stronger. Yeah, that session. Like, I have so many of those.
Like,
yeah.
It just makes me think of, like, you know, you think about all the strategy of, like, you know, getting your rates together. This is what I offer, this and that. And then now I think, you know, for even the new trainers, if you go back now to your current clients and ask, why do you train with me? It's not going to be all those things that you think it is. It's like, it's almost like it's a perk. But they're really happy that they got a human that they could connect with that can, like you said, hold space in those variety of ways. And it's such a, you know, exercise is its own release, but that next level, and I think creating that awareness is just, I don't know, it's something else. It's something,
well,
you know.
It is, to be a coach is something very special, right? To be, when I think about the health industry or really anybody that's taking care of another person, like a parent, like a coach, it is so much of a, I guess, responsibility, right?
Yeah.
It's your energy and how you carry this and meander this world is about giving for somebody else. Like, I'll sacrifice myself, so that I can help someone else feel and be a better person today. And that's what time and time again, you a successful session. Oh my God, Maricris, that felt amazing. I'm so good. Inside, yourself, you're
Yeah.
yay, I'm glad you
Just
like my
stoked
video.
about
I'm
it.
so happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's so true, right? Because that person also affected how you feel. And it made you seen. And so it's this
that
very much that
exchange.
exchange of that energy and being seen. And so I say, like, yeah, as much as I hold space for whoever it is I'm working with, you know, Kate Hudson, Leslie Mann, freaking Bo Kaplan, my son Cassian, my daughter Brown, doesn't matter. Are you holding space? Are you nurturing your relationships? And are you helping each other feel a little bit better? Because if you don't realize you're a part of that relationship too, and it goes two ways, and you're not getting that back from your clients, that's what the clients we always lose. When they don't see us, they don't care about us and everything, I feel that right away. I'm like, peace, homie, I'm out. You know, you don't make me feel good. But
Yes. No, it's almost like I feel like I want to do a trainer 101. If you don't know your exercises, just be human. Like, go take a walk.
Hey, listen.
It's just real. Like, at the end of the day, you'll figure it out. Because my biggest fear when I first started my business is, are they going to come back next month? Do I have to make a 3-month commitment, a 1 year? Like, because I'm nervous. I'm like, why? Like, why are they staying with me?
Hey,
you know, and it's
I have
the relationship.
Telling you.
Simple, okay?
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Like, hey, you show up. You may have the resume of whatever, but you know.
But isn't that why you ask your friend to take a walk with you? You just want someone to walk with. Make it. Oh my gosh, breakthrough.
It's so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the oh my God, I'm like emotionally feeling like seen and heard right now.
Goods.
Life is, as a coach or whatever, we get put into this idea that we're the ideal, that we're some kind of like superhuman that's not doing it. Are you crazy? I have so many. I'm a piece of S, you know, like in the heart of it. But it is the actions and our choices that define who we are, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're doing this talk so that other people can show up in a better way, it's an action. It's defining who you are. You are moving with Maricris just by doing this talk, right? Just by telling people, hey, dude, show up for your families and make them move a little bit more, you know? Actually be present. Show up with a good attitude and make them feel better. These are all just human nature, like, hey, don't be a dickhead to people, you know? And you're probably going to do pretty well, you know? So,
it's true. And
that's such a good nugget right there. That is the nugget.
Speaking of nuggets, so this newly birthed podcast is called Mindful Moves. Right? So making those moves because it all starts in here, right? The way you want to get going. So
Mindful.
I'm going to be greedy. You've given so many nuggets, but what is one mindful move that you'd leave us with? So you can speak to the new trainer, whoever you want to speak to. But
I think we just ride on the ride on the horse's back we just talked about. People are going to forget what you said. They're going to forget every exercise you did.
Yeah.
But they're never going to forget how you made them feel. And if you can go into each one of your whatever it is sessions and help that person feel just a little bit more of themselves, a little bit better, and a little bit more, and like, you know, it's just a reminder. It's like, show up happy. This person shows up happy. Well, great.
Yeah.
You know, that's a feeling.
Let's play.
You continue to do that to other more people. Trust me, more money, more.
It translates. The strategy translates.
Yeah, you know, it's like, what was your secret to training whoever? It's like, yeah, I mean, we had a good time, and we continue to have a good time, and sure, we lifted weights every once in a while, but we had a good time doing it.
I know, my friends joke, they're like, do you just talk to your clients? I'm like, well, they kind of know the movement now, but it's this relationship that you show up for. So
God,
it's our version of coffee with weights.
And then, and self-deprecate a lot so that they say, no, we love you, Brian.
We love you.
Yeah. Well, I love you.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Best guest ever.
First now.
It's still. But does that not say a lot, though?
It does. Like, come on, I'm there.
Well, when this is like in a crazy studio, we'll run it back again.
We'll run it back.
But this is still just as good because it's about the value. But thank you so much,
thank you so much for having me.
We love you.
Yeah.
Let them know.
I'm Brian Nguyen, and that's me in a nutshell.
There's way more than Brian, but drop your comments or questions below.
Google Brian Nguyen if you really want to know
more about him. You want to know more. But until next time, we'll see you later.
Thanks for having me, guys. Bye.
Yay!